Hey-o. Usually after that, you hear Alex's smoke-induced crackly voice. He sounds like the lady checking Beetlejuice in at the Beetlejuice movie with smoke coming out of her neck. That's Alex. But his sass said he was going to be here 5 minutes late. We are 11 minutes late from start time, and he is not here. So we said, fuck his little short ass. We're going to get this started, which that means that y'all have to have me in the intro. And in typical fashion, I'm going to try to do the housekeeping stuff that he does. I'm going to do it poorly, as always. That is not my job. My job is to come on here, look pretty, wear a cool hat, sunglasses, and, I'm the talent. You get what you get when it comes to Alex's side of it. Luckily, I'm not having to actually schedule the podcast to come out. So everybody that needs it at 2 o'clock in the morning on Fridays, you will get it on time instead of 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But look, if y'all are so inclined, well, let me back up. Welcome to Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from high quality podcast content. Like, you come to us to have that downtime to just listen to some bullshittery, a little bit of fishing. So you get your fishing stuff in there, and then you get to kind of just relax. You don't have to listen to anything and make notes and all that good stuff. But if you are so inclined, go to our Patreon page. That is what helps us pay for this podcast. We don't have sponsors. We don't do any of that stuff. The Patreon, I think, is like $5.99, $4.99 a month, something like that. But you get a monthly episode with Alex and I. No guests. It's just him. Whatever comes up, comes up. Sometimes this, boobies and stuff like that. Other times it's what we're doing in our life. I don't know. You just come on. You get to interact. It's live. You get to interact. We answer your questions. We ask your questions. It's a good time, and we've got a really good group of folks out there doing it now. Tonight, we have Chef Lance McQuarter. And, yep, there you go. He said, what's up? And if you're not watching, he's sitting outside of his restaurant right now, drinking a beer, smoking a ciggy. And, yeah. So, you've got your shit together in your restaurant when the chef can come out here and record a shitty fishing podcast for an hour and a half. Like, he got his kitchen staff set up and you got them right. You don't even have to holler at those people anymore, do you?
No, man. One. Thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm hiding out back.
Hey, real quick, I'm glad you said that now, because by the end you're gonna be like, why the fuck am I on this podcast?
Man, no, it's I appreciate you reaching out, man. It's the fishing, the cooking, everything that we have in common. It's high time that we get on and talk about it. But yeah, the crew's dialed in. I got a small restaurant here in Tyler, Texas, called Heritage East. Used to be called Culture ETX, but I switched the whole concept late last year. And the crew is awesome. They just they work their tails off to make me look cool, and they're in there doing that right now. I just got finished up plating up a 6-top, and then ran out here and jumped on the phone with you guys. So glad to be here.
So for folks that don't know Lance is a kayak angler, and he fishes a lot of national trails. He fishes, well, he used to fish a lot. Now there's only one, but anyway, he fishes a lot of national stuff. He has been in the Bassmaster Kayak Championship a few times. He did very well this past year, 40th out of like 130 or something. So up there in that top third. But here's what this is what I don't understand, Lance, and you're going to have to explain it to me. We've all, at this point, in this day and age, we've all seen the TikToks and the YouTubes and all these chefs and the chef life and the restaurant life.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are owning a restaurant, the chef. How the fuck do you go fish tournaments on the weekends, owning a restaurant and being a chef? It doesn't register to me how you're able to do that.
Man, it's a lot. And plus, for the last 2 years, I've had a tackle shop and a kayak shop
here
in Tyler as well. So I literally just closed it up Yeah, it was called ETX Paddle Sports, and I had to let it go just simply for that reason. The restaurant got to the point where it's taken so much of my time, and it's starting to get really successful and get into some national press and regional press that, after the rebrand, it was just something that I had to really sit back and focus on. And that's kind of what's taken me out of the national trails for sure. I've managed to hit, like you said, the Classic again this year. They call it the Kayak Championship. All of us call it the Classic because it's the damn Classic.
That's right.
We got to go up there, and it was kind of a little somber time with Steve-O and Dan, and they came out to the restaurant, Nate, and I got to spend some time with them, which was nice. Oh, there he is. I know I'm late. So sit back while we finish up.
Yes, sir. Aye.
Yeah, so it was.
Fuck me, right? Just my TV, my podcast.
Shut the fuck up. He's telling a good story. Shut up.
Right?
Hey.
Yeah, it was kind of somber because I'm sitting there at the restaurant drinking wine with Steve-O and Dan, and I was kind of sad because this is the first year in 3 years plus that I'm not going to be out traveling. And I've had so much fun out there on the road with everybody doing the whole trail, and this year they're hitting a couple of bucket list lakes that I really wanted to go to. Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a whole lot to try and run a business and do this, especially a service-oriented business like a restaurant, and something that's so that's so personal. When you get into kind of avant-garde, chef-driven tweezer food, there's a lot of identity there, and so I really, especially when like I said, when I did the rebrand, it was like I really had to be here a lot more.
All right. Real quick, Lance, Alex, Lance,
What up,
shut the fuck up.
What up?
I have a question. I've got to ask this. The restaurant life, a restaurant owner, is some hard shit.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's one of the businesses that is the hardest to keep going. And then on top of that, you had a tackle shop, kayak shop, which is also something that you don't see last too long.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You're just a glutton for punishment?
Yeah, I mean, really, I think I'm like, ADD, OCD, possibly spectrum of some sort.
No, it sounds like to me like you don't want to get a real job is what it sounds like.
We kind of talked about this before we came on the air, but it's, I'm an ex-military guy. I was in 2 branches of the military, did the Army and the Navy. Then I was a firefighter until I got hurt and retired. And then after I rehabbed, I went back overseas, and I was working as a high-threat security contractor in Iraq, doing diplomatic security, close protection, working for the Department of State.
I know about that. I was in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, shut up, Alex.
You were in the Coast Guard?
I retired out of the Coast Guard, yep.
Stand up?
Oh, I'm not that tall. Not that tall.
How tall are you?
Paul says I'm 5'2", but I'm 5'9".
We're trying to squeeze an inch in on this?
Exactly.
That's what she said.
Now, when I was in the Navy, I was told that you had to be over 6 foot tall to join the Coast Guard.
There it is. That's the funny joke.
Why'd you have to be over 6 foot tall? I've never heard this before.
If their little boat sinks, they can walk back to shore without getting their head.
Oh, well, so, all right. Oh, that's funny. Hey, well, this is why Alex got in, because they have people that 5'11" and 3/4 to like that 5'4" range is too big, and all the people below that are small enough to get on the shoulders of the 6-footer so they can tote them out, and then the short
Master
guys,
Blaster, yeah.
the short guys carry all their shit back to shores. That's got to be what it is. That's how Alex made it, because he is definitely not over 6 foot.
I'm not over 6 foot.
Coast Guard shoulder Sherpas.
Listen, it's all in good fun, because at least I know I didn't leave one dumb branch to do another one like you did, Army to Navy.
I definitely went backwards for sure.
Yeah, right.
Traveled to all sorts of places in the world, and
that's cool though.
Gas, man. But no, dude, I did all that, and I decided at age 40, I was sitting in Iraq and doing a low profile PSS stuff, and one day I looked at my teammates and I said, I think I'm going to go home and be a chef. And they're like, what the fuck? And I think 39 years old then, and I'm like, yeah, I think I really want to be a chef. I like, I mean, I love to cook. I worked in restaurants as a kid, it's just, and I mean, I knew I'm not getting any younger. I can't keep doing that stuff the rest of my life. I mean,
Right.
like, I was talking with one of my old fellow team guys the other day, and I was laughing about, it was a few weeks ago, fucking remote fell underneath the couch, and I had to get down on the floor and try and get it out of there. And then I went to get up off the floor, and I was like gassed, and everything hurt, and I like had to grab the couch and pull myself up. And I looked at my wife, and I was like, fucking shit, 10 years ago I was a ninja. It's like now I'm this old fat crippled like.
You pulled yourself up with the couch and then farted and had a little bit of dookie in your drawers when you went to go shower that night.
She like laughed at me, and I like limped my fat ass around to the front of the out of breath.
The only security you're doing is securing that pantry.
Who ate my fucking fudge rounds?
Exactly. We're nutty buddies down here.
I got you. He's.
Hey, Lance, let me ask you this: are you a trained chef, or are you self-taught? Are we a chef, or are we just a restaurateur that cooks meals? You said you're a tweezer chef. Like, what kind of chef are we, and how did we get there?
No, when I came home, I was living in Bandera, Texas, which is a little hill country town outside of San Antonio. And I went to work at one of those, kind of country family upscale steakhouse places, which is just bullshit food. I took a $185,000 a year pay cut, went to work, and and so I just started, like anybody does, just kind of a basic restaurant. But I knew that I wanted to do, like the chef's table shit. I knew that's where I wanted to go. So I started moving I waited for my kid to graduate high school and get ready to go off to the Army. As soon as he graduated, I started moving and just worked my way up to working for just the absolute dopest chefs around, James Beard caliber people, Michelin caliber people. And in that progression, about the time that I became my first executive chef job, I enrolled in Auguste Escoffier School of Culinary Arts in their online program.
Sounds French.
It's very French. I mean, it is. I mean, we had Escoffier's, I don't know, whatever it was, 3 times grandson, like giving us the intro speech when we were enrolling. But I mean, an online program sounds really weird. But then a friend of mine who was a very well-known chef in San Antonio goes, "Oh no, he knew the chef that was like the exec of the program," and he goes, "Nah, if he's involved, it's legit." And, so I did this online program, and it was fantastic, dude. Like to the point of where they asked me if I'd shoot videos for them and like do blurbs for them. So if somebody's a veteran and they're into culinary arts or looking at schools, you'll start seeing my face pop up in ads on like Facebook. It's weird.
All right, we're going to get into we're a little bit later. We're going to get into what kind of chef, what kind of foods you prepare. What that palate is. But this is a fucking fishing podcast, a shitty one. And you're a well-known kayak angler in the industry. We're used to seeing your names pop up on stuff like that. So, where the
shitty angler, loudmouth?
There, well, yes, you do have a loud mouth. But you're not shitty. You're mid shitty. You're upper tier shitty. And that's good because half of the field are shitty. Right. And then you have a third of the upper half are upper shitty. And then you have the good folks, and the 3 of us are not in that typically. But anyway,
I've never lost a fucking kayak tournament. Thank you very much.
This bitch entered one last year and didn't go.
Can't lose if you don't go them.
But you did because you put money in.
I didn't know I was supposed to pay at the lake. Motherfuckers.
Lance, out of all this stuff, private contract security, Navy, Army, all this, chefing, where the fuck why did kayak fishing come into that? Were you just like, what, I need one more thing to be a loser at? Like, I mean, because
no, man, kayak fishing is that's a good story. It's I grew up fishing East Texas grandparents had a little single wide on the lake with a dock, and I mean, 2 years old, they had me dog leashed to a lawn chair with a life with a cane pole and a bobber, and I mean, I've been fishing my whole life. Farm ponds on the local lakes out here. My papa took me out to Lake Fork when it was new. I mean, when those trees still had some foliage left on them. So I fished my whole life. And this kind of compound that we lived at in Iraq was one of Saddam's old palaces, and it has all these lakes, like these concrete lakes built into them, and they're absolutely loaded with peacock bass. So even in Iraq,
no fucking way,
we would go to the little haji shops and buy these like Chinese mass-produced like crappy spinning reel combo.
Oh, you mean casking? Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, hey. But no, we'd go out there and we'd fish while we were there. So, when I came home, there was a lot to decompress from years of doing that. And it's one of the things, like when I was on an episode of Chop that I talked with them about, was how cooking is very therapeutic. You didn't know that either? Dang, man.
You were on Chop?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. We'll get it. That. We're on fishing. Remember fishing. So when I came home, I had a lot to unpack. It's like it was kind of, mentally, it was tough. It was a tough couple of years. So I think that was 2013 is when I came home, and when I had been home on a rotation in 2012, I got my first fishing kayak, and
a Sin 12.
No, it was a freaking Perception Pescador 12, and it was.
You were spending that. Perception. You were spending that contractor money.
Yeah.
Fuck that Ascend. I'm going to spend 100 extra for that.
But it's still gonna suck.
Dude, my ass was wet, my back hurt, like everything was fucked up in that boat. Like,
your ass was wet and your back was hurt. You should have been used to that. You were in the Navy.
Oh.
Bam. God. You gonna let a coastie talk to you like that, Lance?
There was no pillow on it for the other guy to bite. Yeah.
In the Navy, why they put their name tags on the back of their coveralls, it's so you know who you're fucking.
Exactly. I mean, you got to form that emotional connection, or else what does it really mean?
Hey, real quick before we go into this, dawned on me. You said you were an executive chef. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Executives of companies are cool, right? Like they're at the top of their game, right? How come it's only XOs, executive officers in the Navy and the Coast Guard, that are fucking douchebags? Like, it's like their whole job is to be a giant piece of shit.
It's like you go into it expecting, Will Riker, and you wind up freaking, I don't know, some Will Wheaton.
Sobel from Band of Brothers instead of.
Yes,
exactly. I've met so many cool people, and then as soon as they become an XO, they become such a fucking asshole. And I'm like, what is it? Like a school you guys go to where they permanently insert a stick directly up your ass?
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst. All right, back to what you're saying though. Unpacking in the Pescador.
Yeah, so I had the Pescador, and I fished out of it for a little while, and then when I came back home for good, and I was starting to look at cooking. Some of that last contractor money I spent, and I got a Jackson Cuda 14, which was one of the OG ones with the lifted seat, and it was just a cool boat. I was fishing a lot of rivers in the hill country.
That was the first one to ever have a riser,
removable seat. Yeah. It was just an awesome boat, and I absolutely love that boat. But I spent, while I was kind of looking and dabbling and looking into restaurants and cooking, I spent about 4 or 5 months really just kind of doing nothing but kayak fishing and just kind of getting used to the world. And, I'm out there in blue jeans, no PFD, cruising up the freaking, the freaking Llano River, the Guadalupe River, and just, having a blast catching bass and Guadalupe bass, and just, starting to dabble in the lakes. But, when you first start, it's kind of freaky, especially in a narrow boat like that. Right. But hanging towards the shore and getting out a little bit. But, I mean, that's where I really got into kayak fishing. It was a vessel for, literally for kind of a transitional period.
Yeah, I had the same experience when I got done. When I got into kayaking, was the same thing, and I do think it's funny you mentioned no PFD. I would love to see the game warden or whoever it was stop you, and then you're like, oh no, I'm like a combat veteran. Like, it's always the dudes with like who've like actually seen shit. Where when somebody's like, hey, you need to wear a PFD, they're like, or I didn't get bullets full of, I wasn't full of bullets 2 months ago. I think I'll be all right in this little piece of shit 2-foot fucking river. I think I'll be fine. But you should wear it or don't. I don't really care. You're an adult out there, listeners. Don't wear them. That's fine. Coast Guard, that's more business for us. So,
I'm a wear it guy. Wear it.
You should. Yeah.
I mean, in the last 6 weeks, or it was right around the classic time with all that weather. But I mean, we lost 2 guys in 2 days out here.
Yep.
I mean, and I got flipped out on Hartwell. I don't know if you guys remember that following me back then, but I posted a bunch of videos about it. I had a boat flip out in Hartwell, and I lost a bunch of gear, and it's scary, man. And I mean, that water was like 50 something degrees.
That's cold as shit. Yep.
It takes the air out of you, and that PFD just gives you even I had an inflatable on, and I've gone to a regular one since then, but when that inflatable pops, it scares the shit out of you. But then you go, okay, wait, cool, I'm okay, and it gives you, if nothing else, it gives you like 2 minutes to just sit there and collect your thoughts and go, all right, how do I fix this? And then Jeff Little starts playing in your brain and flip the boat.
What's funny, you mentioned it popping, scaring you. I have never had one pop in the water, but I did leave mine in the back of my car, and it got too hot eventually. And I'm literally driving down the freeway, and that fucker went off, and I sounded like a gun. I thought somebody shot me on the fucking freeway. I was like, who's shooting at a Subaru?
Hey, there's been quite a few times, at least 3. We've been at the boat ramp for a local tournament, and somebody's sliding their kayak in off the rip ramp, off the side of the ramp, and all of a sudden you hear
It's like the kayak fishing version of a desk pop for cops. Like it's yeah, exactly.
All you hear the CO2 cartridge release, you hear the psh, and then you hear fuck. It's one of the I don't like so in my kayak I wear a Oso, I think is what it's called. And when
they
I'm
make
on the
one
kayak,
that big?
Shut up, bitch. You know what? Matter of fact, let me say this. I did not say this when we met or the podcast after, but I remembered this just now. I wasn't going to say it tonight until you reminded me. Alex walked up, and Alex was a skinny little bitch when he was in the Coast Guard.
Oh,
You could tell. When he waddled into my garage, I still hadn't seen you that video.
You haven't.
It's not like you've done anything. If
I have, just waiting on that.
You're ready to produce it, you'd have been texting me. I forgot his birthday. We'll talk about that later. But Alex waddled into the garage, and he's got a little fucking beer belly, y'all.
I do.
He talk about me being fat. His titties didn't go farther out than his shirt. Like his titties were sunk back in his shirt too. But I do wear the vest, and so when I'm on the water, my wallet, my keys go in one of my pockets. Mm-hmm. My phone is tethered to my life vest, and it goes in the other pocket. And so my thought is, if I ever flip and it's bad, and I lose all my shit, I still have my wallet with all my shit in it. I don't have to go through that rigmarole to get new cards and new license. I have my keys. I can get home. I don't have to, my wife doesn't have to come out there and bring me my keys. And I got my phone so I can call somebody for help, and I don't have to get a new phone. So that, for me, that vest has the most important shit out of all of my fishing shit on it with me. And, if I drown, they can identify me. So I'm also hopefully floating. So it's not going to be 6-7 days later. They're going to find me a little bit quicker. But that's the way that I look at it. But when we go fishing, I team fish. I have a boat in a boat league with a buddy. I wear his little inflatable because I don't have to take it on and off. I mean, it's there, and I know that a lot of women anglers in the kayak world wear those because those other vests aren't really comfortable around their boobies. My boobies aren't large, but they're big for a man. And I will say that I feel no different. Just if any, anglers listening, that's a woman that's maybe looking to get into it, I don't have a problem with it.
You're such a fucking idiot.
Hey, Lance, what got you into fishing tournaments? Did you just find a KBF one day? Because you started early enough that was the KBF years when they were going strong. Is
Yeah,
that
I started fishing KBFs. I've been fishing local. I'm trying to think of what my first national. I think my first national event was. It was that crazy. It was either a Hobie up in Arkansas at Dardanelle, or else it was the KBF on the Fort Worth River that weekend where it just went fucking crazy. And like,
what year would that have been?
probably 21, early
Oh, okay.
21. That was like the first three places were, I think it was like 112 inches, 110 and 108. It was like Matt Scotch and Jody Queen and Guillermo and Christine, all them. And then I pulled a seventh place on that one. So I was like feeling froggy. I'm like, man, I can do this shit, And then they proceeded to just like fucking go, man, nah, this is a lot harder than you think it's going to be. But yeah, it was back in the KBF days, and the first KBF championship I fished was Caddo, and I guess that would have been the end of 21.
I thought Caddo was 20. The end of 20. I could be wrong.
I don't know, maybe it was.
Yeah.
What does it fucking matter, Paul?
It doesn't. I'm just trying to correct him so that he is accurate with his information.
Yeah. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. I don't know. Get Dwayne Wally on here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, real quick, it's funny you were hanging out with Steve-O and Dan, a few 6 weeks ago, whenever it was, because Steve-O and Dan were on the podcast shortly before that, and we got to hear some good stories. So did Steve-O fall and bust his face open at your restaurant when y'all were drinking wine, or was he behaving that night?
Good behavior. He got a little handsy, once he got into the red wine, but I mean, he kept his pinky up at the times that it was appropriate, and he ate all like a good boy. And, he didn't dribble, and he was good. He was a good boy.
Was he able? Do you think he was able to get his CPAP machine on that night, or did Dan have to get him hooked up again?
Dan probably like spooned him from behind and like kind of chloroform.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Dan
Shut the fuck up. Go to sleep.
stuck Dan's thumb in his mouth so his jaw wouldn't suck back and he could breathe out of his nose all night.
Somebody's got to figure it out. Dano does.
I don't think that was his thumb.
Look, that episode we did with the stories they fucking told about them traveling. I mean, that was a long ass episode too, but the stories that they told were just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, they were.
Next time I fish a bass and Steve-O's around, I'm gonna make sure I get there on a Friday and go hang out. Because I fish like shit on Saturday anyway, so I might as well turn it up on Friday night with the boys.
All right, Lance, I've got a question. As somebody who works restaurant business, what are the top 3 overrated food trends right now?
Oh man. To be honest, I've gotten to the point where I really don't pay attention to a lot of them, just because I've kind of, after you go work at the places that I've been to and you branch. I mean, I've had my own restaurant for almost 6 years now, so I mean, I kind of do my own thing. But
well, that makes for a great podcast. Thanks, Lance.
Yeah, no, I'm
good job, Lance.
I'm like,
hey,
what? I'm trying to think of a food trend right now.
What about foam?
I'm cool with foam.
I fucking
cool
hate it.
No, if it's
like
done
from the ceiling.
No, if it's done right, it's cool. I have one foam on the menu, and it's like a beef tenderloin, Oscar style. So it's got this like crab cake top mix on the top of it, asparagus, and then we came up with this hollandaise that's it's like a Cajun-y, spicy hollandaise, and you keep it in the ISI canister, so like a whipped cream canister that can withstand a lot of heat.
That's what you do whippets with.
And so we do that hollandaise and just foam that hollandaise on top of the asparagus, and it gives it like hollandaise to me is really heavy and dense, and that just turns it into kind of like this little airy version of itself, which is nice. But I mean, like foams just to foam something, I think is stupid.
Dude, it must be a thing. We've gone out the last couple months. Me and my wife have gone out, and
My wife and I.
there it is. And I feel like every restaurant in Atlantic City, New Jersey has like fucking 9 different foams now when it's not fucking necessary. I don't want a shiitake mushroom foam on my fucking salmon. Can we not fucking do that? It's the worst fucking thing.
I'm cool with it where it's appropriate.
Right.
I mean, technology, chemistry, all the things that we've learned to do in higher end cooking is there's a huge place for it, but it just needs to be used with some taste and some limited, some self-policing. It's kind of like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
So what you're saying, don't overuse it like
Yeah,
people
totally.
do with like truffle oil. It was like 8 years ago. Truffle oil
Everything.
was in everything, all over everything. It wasn't real truffles. It was, engineered shitty ass fucking palm oil with some truffle mix in it, and it was over everything, and it tasted like shitty perfume.
Right. And once again, good truffle oil, like black truffle infused oil,
Real truffle oil.
it has its place, but that place is like this big, and it's very limited in its application.
But Lance,
I will tell you one thing that is sous vide, sous videing steaks. There's a trend that I wish would die.
Yeah,
exactly.
So sous videing steaks, and there's a couple of steaks that I will sous vide, but
like what steaks?
Like if I'm doing like a I've got a spinalis that's on the menu now, also known as a ribeye cap or a decal. If I was doing, like a flank type steak or something like that. So the key takeaways for sous vide is most people are using it as a crutch. So they want that red edge to edge, perfect, interior. And I mean, every steak that I turn out on my line, or my guys are in there and gals are in there turning out right now, is perfect edge to edge, perfect sear, everything like that without sous vide. And it's heat control, and it is just being good.
There we go.
Sous vide.
Be good at your fucking job, bitch, and quit the shortcut.
I see the attraction. It's you get that beautiful, that perfect whatever. But if it's a steak that's super tender, or you get a tenderloin and you let it go too far, you get a ribeye and all strip. I feel like can tighten up. So to me, sous vide has, and you said I use it on a lot of things, but steaks, unless you're infusing flavor or adjusting texture, it doesn't belong. Like that's it.
Have you ever sous vide a squirrel?
I have not sous vide a squirrel.
That would work though, because a good squirrel's got to be properly boiled before you cook it.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like eating a fucking rubber inner tube or a used condom.
Yeah. Well, and it's just super lean. Get some fat and kind of little fat, little acid, and kind of break it down a little bit in the bag, and that'd be freaking great.
I think that would be a good, and then you know what? You could blacken. Oh shit, his phone fucking died. He said he was going to have to go plug it in. Oh, it's back. He got a phone call.
Yeah, somebody just tried to call me.
Yeah, there you go. He got a phone call. I think a squirrel. So you could sous vide that squirrel, and then like blacken it on a grill.
Oh yeah.
And get a little bit of char on there. Put some kind of sauce with a little bit of sugar on it, and blacken it, and it'd have that little crunch on the outside. Like
I think
good chicken wing.
There's a better way because squirrel's so lean, and I mean I love cooking squirrel. That was me as a kid. Granny would hand us 410s and 22s and send us in the woods. But squirrel is something to me that's like say like a duck leg quarter. It's that same kind of meat texture, density, no fat. Unless it's subcutaneous. So to me, something like that is much more. It's done much more well with like a confit. So like where you take duck fat or even like good olive oil or tallow or something and veggies and herbs, and then you stack those puppies in there in a pan and double wrap it and throw it in the oven at 325 for 4 hours, and then you pull it out and all the little leg muscles are just pulled back off the bone, and they're just and it'll just fall apart. And that's just infusing that fat. And confit is a cool way to cook, but it's also a really cool preservation method because you could cook up 10 of them and leave them in the fridge forever.
Yep.
Just scrape the fat off, pull one out. And,
the problem with confit in like my household is like to confit good, bitch, that's expensive. Like my wife will never let me reuse any of that oil for nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
After I done confit a squirrel in that bitch, like that oil's gonna have to go. It's going into trash.
All right, I've got a food distribution question. So if I get duck at a restaurant, is that just like a fucking mallard somebody shot out of the fucking sky and sold?
That's a good question. What kind of duck are we eating?
I remember the name of the actual duck. It's like a Pekin style.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a commercially farmed duck. There's a few great places. There's one stellar place. They're called Maple Leaf Farms.
Mm-hmm.
They raise just killer ducks.
Now, are these like clipped? Because I know the way I'm going with this is that like wild game can't be sold depending on the state in most restaurants, right? So, but duck is okay. So, do they clip the wings and they just kind of raise them as chickens and then slaughter?
I think I don't know if they actually clip the wings or if they're just so happy being where they're at that they're not going to go anywhere. But I mean, they are farm raised.
Okay. So that's what we need to do, Paul. This is our next $1 million idea. We're going to bring squirrel to the market. We're going to farm raise happy fucking squirrels, and then we're going to get them into that duck category. And now you're going to be able to get like squirrel nuggets at McDonald's, all this other shit.
Dude, I was actually looking like 3 months ago for a squirrel provider.
I got you, dude. They're all in my fucking backyard. I will mail you all these bodies.
Yep.
No problem.
I will send you plenty.
It was when I was just announcing the new concept change, and somebody piped up on Facebook and said, "Are you going to have squirrel on the menu?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker, if I can get squirrel, I will feed you squirrel like 1,000."
Because you can get rabbit. So
I've done rabbit on the menu.
Right. That's another one, Paul. That's another wild animal. But
no, there's already doing rabbit. The squirrel idea was great. Don't.
No. But I mean rabbit. But I mean like rabbits in that same category as duck. If they have this weird ban on wild game in most places, right? But like duck and rabbit's okay.
Brains, yeah. I mean, those rabbits are whatever domesticated rabbits, and I mean that rabbit has been a staple of European cooking for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
But so is deer. I'm gonna domesticate a bunch of fucking deer.
It's against the law.
They do that now.
Right.
Different types of deer.
It's not against the law.
Yeah. I mean, I've got I have literally have on my menu right now. There's an appetizer called Deer Camp Crackers, which is a play on like the potted meat freaking club crackers that we did when I was a kid. And it's just a deer shoulder that has been just totally confit, cooked down in duck fat with, thyme and rosemary, a shit ton of garlic. And then you shred that meat and cut that duck fat back into it. And so it's called a rillette, which is just like a fancy word for like, devil shit potted meat. That's essentially a rillette. It's fat whipped back into confit meat. And it's delicious,
That sounds good as fuck.
That's all farm deer.
All right, Paul, we're going to start the first Bass and Brews squirrel farm. We only need like an acre. We're going to have wild squirrels running around in herds. We'll get a small chihuahua to herd them around.
We can use Oscar.
Fucking Oscar's going to become a farm dog. His job is going to be to herd the squirrels. They're going to be the fattest, fatback fucking squirrels out there.
Well, my wife, daughter, and son are in Michigan right now because my daughter made nationals for gymnastics.
Is that this weekend?
It is. She competes tomorrow.
Okay.
But I have my lab and Oscar here, and I've been taking care of him. It was a long motherfucking day of work, so I've been running around like crazy. And Oscar has not quit barking
of course.
for like an hour now.
He's a fucking
I've been
asshole.
out here doing this shit, and he's barking. And he got neutered a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And this is the first time since we've gotten Oscar that Otis has any, intrigue to play with him. And so they're playing around, and Oscar's a 89-pound lab drooling all over the fucking house. The house is going to be a fucking wreck when my wife gets home Saturday because I have a 2-day fishing tournament Saturday and Sunday. It's a fucking wreck. There's a Chinese place here in Holly Springs. My favorite Chinese, really gets best Chinese in Holly Springs. And my goal is to eat everything on the menu. And I've been taking notes of everything that I got. And so today I did the mushu pork, and I did the kung pao chicken. I was very disappointed. They were not as good as some of the other dishes that I had. But anyway, that's a different story. But since we're talking about food and chefing and all this good stuff, I figured I'd throw that little tidbit of information out there for the folks listening, for no really purpose.
Great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Solid. Nope, we can't hear you, Lance.
Uh-oh.
Can't hear
What
you,
happened?
Lance. I don't know. Oh, there you are.
There you are. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
So,
All right.
anyways, back to putting a little saddle on Oscar and having him run around. We got to make one of the squirrels go against his own people, and that'll be the rider of Oscar as they herd these other fucking squirrels around. I think that's the move.
Feels a little oppressive to me.
Oh no, it's 100% oppressive against fucking squirrels. I'm gonna tell you what, I killed last weekend 9 fucking squirrels because they're tearing up my fucking garden.
Bitch,
These little assholes.
Quit killing the squirrels unless you're gonna eat them.
For reals.
I didn't eat them, but
Don't
they're not there.
kill the squirrels if you're not going to eat them. Don't be a bitch.
Find somebody who will and give them to them.
Yeah.
I
He's
did.
in
It was
Jersey.
called
That's
The
not gonna
Woods.
happen.
It was called The Woods.
No.
Something
That's
came and
fucked
ate
up.
him. But I told my wife, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about putting one on a stake in front of the garden just as like a answer.
Squirrel running up the street right now.
Yeah. I'm coming after you, motherfucker.
Bro, he's under the car hiding in fear.
Yeah.
Hey, come back, man. They're only kidding.
I told Amanda that I wanted to like put one up as like a sign to all the other squirrels, stay the fuck out of my garden. She was like, that's fucking gross. Can we not put a dead squirrel up in front of our garden? That'd be great.
And that's wasting food, man.
Yeah.
Listen,
Fuck your
they
garden.
got
I hope
8. I
everything
went
you
back.
grows
No,
dies.
I went back to the spot in the woods where I left the squirrels, and they are not there.
Peeing on all of the vegetables.
Joke's on me. I never washed the vegetables.
These are good, honey. What's in these? I don't know. Reminds me of the ones we had in the Coast Guard.
Oh, you know our food was fucking better than the Navy. Get the fuck out of here. The Navy cooks out of a can. Everything. It's like, you want chicken out of a can? No problem. You want lettuce out of a can?
That's one of my old mess specialists. One of my old Navy chefs is a friend of mine on Facebook now. So it's fun to have him chime in when I'm cooking stuff. And he's like, "Oh damn, man, I didn't know you could cook back then." I'm like, "Well, I didn't know you could either."
Oh, hey, update, Paul. We have permanently been blocked, a lifetime block against the U.S. Coast Guard culinary TikTok page. They stepped in. They got tired of my comments about how they cook like shit, and after multiple blocks and me appealing them, it finally went through. I'm really disappointed. I can't even search their page anymore.
We need to get Chris Wins a Kayak to hook us up with some insider info.
Dude, I should have screenshotted all the comments because the comments were the best. Like, they were cooking fucking they were cooking like shrimp and all this shit, right? Like surf and turf and all that. And I know one of the guys, and I was like, oh shit, that's like when you made us nachos, but you just put fucking raw tortillas and slabs of cheese on top.
American cheese too.
Yes, it was
fucking Kraft singles.
Dude, I kept hammering into them.
Those are poverty nachos.
Dude, but this guy, and this guy is now the E8.
With the twist knob, and you put it until the cheese puffed up, like and then like farted, and like a little smoke came out and it dropped.
Bitch, you're from East Texas. Why were you eating white people nachos in East Texas?
You didn't get to go to restaurants all the time when you're poor.
Damn, I had something else I was going to say that was actually worth saying, and I fucking forgot it. When Alex starts talking again, I'll remember. But
yeah, he'll interrupt me.
Yes,
but it's my favorite because he's in all the videos, and he's the master chief of the CSs, the culinary specialists. And this dude used to serve like the rawest fucking chicken. He was the dirtiest dude on the boat. Like, he would fall asleep in a full bloody uniform from like chopping up something. and then just roll into bed when he was in E6. And we woke him up like, you dirty fuck, get the fuck in the shower.
Like Mel's Diner.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this one time we were in this berthing with nothing but E6s, and he showed up. It's the first, we're underway. It's our underway day. We're underway. Lunch is about ready to get served. I'm fucking pissed because we just did this whole special sea detail. It was fucking hot outside, and the cooks, first day of the patrol, lunch is just cold cuts. So they didn't fucking do anything but sit on their fucking phones all day. And I go in there rip roaring to rip this dude's fucking ass. And he goes, hey, everybody, look what I made everybody. And he made these leather bracelets with everybody's fucking name, like, engraved into the leather. And it was fucking weird. And the boatswain mate that was in the room with us, he just comes in. He goes, well, that's fucking weird. You're a real Columbine kid, aren't you? And, like, walk the fuck out.
I love it. I feel that's what I was. I was a boatswain mate, so I feel that guy.
I fucking figured. You seem like a fucking bowel movement.
Yeah. You see my scars?
Yeah,
the cigarette finger.
Exactly, right?
And the coffee cup finger. And I can talk shit really good.
That's like all the requirements to be a boatswain mate. You nailed it.
You have to be mean and smoke and drink coffee nonstop, like 24.
You also need to have, like, to make E7, Coast Guard just changed the requirements. You now have to have 2 divorces and 1 DUI. So I'm glad they're being more strict.
I mean, that was before I got my crow. I had that down.
Dude, boatswain mates were the fucking worst. And the Coast Guard, they think they're hot shit, and they are. I've always talked about, like, some of them are like, we got those fucking 47-foot boats that, like, they surf in these bitches, right?
Yeah.
They're fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
They are the biggest fucking douchebags, but they have to be to do that job, right?
Sure.
But then every other knuckle fucking dragger who all he does is fucking sand, paint, and then yell at fucking E4 and below thinks he's that fucking guy, but you're not that guy.
Not that guy, yeah.
Yeah. It's the best. They're always like, boatswain mates are the best. We got fucking surfmen. I'm like, are you one? Because I saw you struggle at fucking weapon quals. You had to go through 4 times because you can't shoot shit. But the yeoman over there is a fucking dead eye. So I'd probably stop making fun of that guy.
Yeah.
Good story, Alex.
Thanks. Thanks, Paul. Go ahead,
Even
Paul.
Lance didn't have anything to say after the end of that one.
Yep.
You do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Lance, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
When you go eat at a restaurant, not like McDonald's or some bullshit like that, but something high class to middle class, Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden, some shit like that, even up to your nice restaurants when you and your wife go out for your anniversary dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Are you judging? Do you judge all the food that comes out, or do you just because you have your own restaurant, you're in the industry, you just eat it and accept it for what it is?
Yeah, that it's I kind of eat it and accept it for what it is. It's the first year or 2 of me running the restaurant, man, I stressed myself out to the point where I put myself in like AFib. I lost a shitload of weight.
God
like
dang.
got put in the hospital.
Oh wait, AFib will help you lose weight.
I was about to say you should try that, Paul.
It's the road leading up to AFib. Like just the stress, no sleep, working 18, 20-hour days, and just and they gotta, when you get that, they gotta go in and control alt delete your ass, man. I mean, they go in there, they put you under, and they fucking shock you to reset your shit. Like it's did you try turning it off and turning it back on again? Like they literally do that to you. So after that point, dude, I went into therapy after that. Like I started doing this kind of like wind down, like EMDR. I'm a huge advocate for mental health and stuff like that. I'm in therapy and like trying to wind down, and my wife's like, look, you can't expect every one of these guys and gals that work for you to be you. Like it's never ever gonna happen. So I mean, it's the same thing. like I've got buddies that I want to have you over to the house, but man, I'd be afraid to cook for you. I'm like, motherfucker, you should see what I eat at home. Like last night, I drank like 8 beers, freaking 8 day-old Taco Bell. That the kick is you got to bring it back to life in the microwave and then throw it in the air fryer for
That's
4
it.
minutes.
That's the
And
move.
just to crisp it up, dude, and then it's perfect, you know. So I mean, dude, my wife and I, we eat like fucking raccoons. I mean, it is literally, we eat like those veggie crisp chips.
Oh yeah.
Stupid good, man. From Sam's Club, they're like Doritos but vegetables. We eat ramen noodles all the time.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I mean, we eat like shit. You know, it's just it's just how it is, and we don't have time to cook. When I go home, I don't want to cook. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
like,
last thing you want to do is stand over a fucking hot stove at
yeah,
your
we're,
house.
we're fucking DoorDash and Panda Express. You know, I mean, it's just.
I fucking love
So,
Panda
I
Express.
I mean, they've kind of gone downhill a little bit, but I mean,
Judging.
It's fucking Panda
He's
Express.
still
Quit being so
judging.
picky.
but I mean, now it's just, they used to have like, hey, and my sous chef now, that's where he started at a Panda Express, you know, so, and he's worked his way up.
That's why your local Panda Express sucks, because you got the only good chef they had.
Yeah, but I mean, they used to have like actual hunks of meat in there. Now it's just like the shit that they spray off the factory workers' boots.
And I fucking love it. And I want more.
Delicious, man. Yeah, I mean, MSG will make anything fucking taste.
Oh
so
fuck yeah!
good.
Look, I'm an MSG fan. I do a lot of stir fry and stuff like that. I love it. I try to cook authentic when I cook, and so I'm a big MSG fan. You can't obviously got to use it the way it needs to be used and sparingly. But man, it's any kind of stew or soup I cook, that motherfucker's got MSG in it, and it changes the whole game. That little bit of vinegar or something like that.
I mean, and that, to me, that's the key to cooking is learning the how to use acid, how to use seasonings. I'm a very like hyper aggressive seasoning person. Um, I never had MSG in like restaurant food or anything like that, but people will come in here and they'll eat like my side of vegetables, which is just like dope fresh vegetables, that we cut up ourselves and then cook in a fucking pan and
butter and salt
and a little bit of red wine vinegar, and and people are like, why do your vegetables taste so good? And I'm like, it's acid. It's literally at the end of the cooking cycle, we give it a shot of red wine vinegar out of a squirt bottle, toss it a few times, it goes in the plate.
Oh, you said acid. I thought you meant like a tablet of acid that you give it to every diner. Shit, my bad.
That before dinner service.
Right.
That goes into appetizers. Anybody that orders an appetizer is getting a little drop in there.
Hey, my phone's about to die. I just got the first warning. So do you guys want a tour before it dies? And
Hell fucking yeah.
So I'm at across the street. That's the back of, there's the beautiful square downtown right there. But this is the back of Mucho Burrito, which is my neighbor. And
oh shit, you were sitting on your neighbor's back door smoking a ciggy, drinking a beer. That's the fucking, there you go. Oh yeah, their back door is way prettier than yours.
That's the stoop to my speakeasy. Like, we've got this hidden bar. You got to go through a janitor's closet to get in there.
Nice.
No, look, there's somebody coming out. Oh, hello.
Hey, Ariel.
So their place over there, they got the killer stoop, and that's known as my office. So, like, I tell the kids, I'm like, I'll be in my office. And so everybody knows that that's my office. Even the people,
and that restaurant,
they know that.
They're like, hey, we've been calling the cops on him for fucking years. He won't get off our fucking stoop.
So when the restaurant's closed, it's got that the window with the flap on it,
Yep.
So they come and knock on this door. But other than that, you got to go through the restaurant. So we'll go in the bar and then we'll go in the restaurant. So
all right, let's do it.
Oh, the bar's popping Thursday.
Oh fuck yeah, we're getting a tour.
Yeah. Thursday.
This is our first live tour.
Hi. That's Reagan. That's the bar, people. So that's my bar. It's called the Plaid Rabbit, and we'll go through the no exit.
The Plaid Rabbit. Holy shit.
So, see, I just walked through the door, and it's mops and brooms on the wall, and it's a little freaking janitor's closet.
That is fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're going into the restaurant. There's somebody. So, you can see the door. Janitor's closet, all that. So, they tell the story and walk people back there and do the whole knock, knock, knock and all that. So, right now I'm walking into the dining room. And we'll, there's my tiny little restaurant.
Dude, that is that's
That's
like
awesome.
Hill's Kitchen. You're fucking sitting there. You can't like you can't act the fool up in there with your people or everybody in the restaurant's gonna be like, God
We'll walk
damn,
down the line.
All right.
fuck yeah.
That's Dylan. That's my chef.
Dylan, what's up, homie?
What's going on? This is Oscar.
Oscar, that's my puppy dog's name.
Hey, are you making squirrel?
Dog name? Oh, that's perfect.
He's a Havanese.
That's she's awesome. But when she first started, she would always let her trash can get too full.
Oscar the Grouch.
I think she was proud of her garbage. So Oscar ever since. So yeah, there's Aurora. There's James. We're on podcast. Hostess, the baddest sommelier on the planet. So we have an actual sommelier curated wine program.
Damn.
Nice.
Tiny little place with about. There's Kyle. That's my server.
Kyle said, "Fuck this podcast."
I'm on a podcast. Say hi.
Hello.
Got to go plug my phone in. So out the front door, and you can see we got patio seating. I don't know why nobody's in the patio tonight.
No shit.
Beautiful night. And so Tyler, Texas, East Texas, like right by Lake Fork, and there is the square downtown. So we're just right on the corner.
Awesome.
Pretty dope spot. And there's my
Oh,
little
yeah.
Alex, the next Bass and Brews get together is
Boom.
going to be in Tyler, Texas.
Yep.
And we're going to camp out outside of the restaurant, and I'm going to bring some bright leaf.
I'm gonna bring
And-
squirrels.
Alex is going to bring squirrels, and we're going to bring bright leaf, and I'm going to bring enough that we can do a dinner service with bright leaf, red hots, hot dogs, and smoked sausage and bologna.
There's the war wagon.
The war wagon.
Wagon.
I got a quick question while you get your phone set up to charge a little bit. You say that y'all don't eat much at home. Are y'all a cook to order? So do you not have leftover food? If you do y'all do the employees get to take food home? And if there's leftovers?
Hang on just a quick second.
Oh, Lord.
Hang on, let me get the Bluetooth off and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, headphone listeners.
Nah, fuck y'all. Turn
This
your
guy
shit down.
is a fucking chef, and he was in the Navy, so he's not that smart.
I don't know, Alex. We've heard a lot of Coast Guard jokes, but I've never heard you got to be 6 foot so you can walk back. To
Oh,
shore
dude,
if
that's
your
the
shit's
common one. That's the common
That
one.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
My favorite one that I came up with years ago was actually aimed at the Marines. And people are like, "Oh, you're an Army and a Navy. Why you never joined the Marines?" And I said, "Because they found out my parents were married and wouldn't let me the fuck in."
See, my favorite one for the Navy is they'd make fun of us because we don't do long patrols, and I'd be like, "Well, somebody's got to stay back home and make sure they have good-looking kids."
Right? Yeah, for sure. Fucking Jonesy.
Dude, I grew up in a portion of where I grew up was Everett, Washington, big naval base there, and dude, that was the best. Like getting a fake ID at 18 and trying to get Navy wife trim when the boat went out, because those girls would go to the bar like as soon as that boat left.
We always called them the Westpac widows.
Yes.
Like as soon
All right.
as the battle group pulls out,
It's
like,
gone.
I was stationed in Hawaii, so there's this real famous bar down there, by the airport underneath the fucking highway underpass, and it's called Gussie Lamore's. We always called it Scuzzy Lahore's. Like it was, it was a rough place.
All right, I got a question. So, Lance, how many before you became a executive chef?
Yeah.
What's the total number of beef Wellington and risottos you had to make? Because from what I can tell from Gordon Ramsay is that every chef should just know how to make a fucking beef Wellington and a fucking risotto.
I mean, really, risotto it's just a slow way of cooking. It's a delicate way of cooking rice.
Sure.
And saucy. So, I mean, like, you kind of should know that, but I mean, how many restaurants are you going to really have to? Wellington,
I mean, I made a few of those or riffs on them, you know, using pork loin or what. I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of a standard. And but I mean, the answer to your question is zero. Like, I
Good.
mean, it's really it's none of that's required. I mean, what really wherever you go, you know. And this is like a lesson that I like to pass on to a lot of my kids that you know that I call at the restaurant all my baby chefs and stuff is you know you're there to learn not just recipes or not just how to cook. You're there to learn your chef's palate. You know, it's like even if it's a family restaurant or whatever, where you don't necessarily have a chef, you may just have an owner or you know whoever's in charge of that menu, whose ever dream that is. You need to learn their palate. So you could show up at my restaurant right now while I'm out here talking to you fuckers, and they know exactly how I season, how I cook, how I plate. You know, it's just people's guests tell me that, you know, especially when I was out fishing tournaments. Oh, we missed you last week. Oh, I was in freaking, you know, wherever, Pennsylvania. Uh, you'd have never known, you know, like the crew did great. You'd have never known, you know, and that's kind of the biggest thing is most people go into cooking and they want to be the chef. Dude, the odds are if you're wanting to be an actual chef, you have to go work for chefs and you have to continually move up the ladder to more challenging and more challenging places.
Right.
And in order to do that, you have to go there and you have to learn the palates of all these different chefs and cook to them, you know. And I could still go back to like my greatest mentors in the world, Matt McAllister, FT33 in Dallas, really super famous restaurant. I mean, like when Thomas Keller was in town in Dallas, that's where he'd go. You know, David Uger was another one. He now has Lucia, you know, Michelin, both of them Michelin, James Beard, all that stuff, you know, and I could still cook for either one of those chefs, you know,
I
That's
think
because I still know their palate.
I feel like that's where a lot of so I'm in the Carolinas, right? So I'm in the deep south. You're from East Texas, that's south.
Yeah,
A lot of those local diners, the local greasy spoons, as we called them, where they were,
yeah, for sure.
there there was a mama and or a daddy that just opened a restaurant and were cooking, and they never taught a single soul how to cook the food. And
Right.
so when mama and daddy just couldn't do it anymore, the fucking
Yep.
shit dies. Or somebody takes it over and tries to do it and the food goes to shit
fucks
Yeah.
it up.
because they never did it. And
Well,
that's what's the interesting thing is with these restaurants that can continue, or you can bring your ass out here on a podcast for an hour and a half or go travel, leave on a Thursday and come back on a Monday and your restaurant survives. Like
yeah, yeah. Not
you
just
don't come home
survive.
to 20 Google reviews for one
Yeah.
stars because the food sucked and the people are like, I was here 2 weeks ago and it was great and it sucks tonight.
Yeah.
Is being able to teach your people how to actually cook the fucking food.
Well, and a lot of that, and this is where a lot of small, you know, on my way up working for some of those restaurants like that. I mean, shit, you know, one of the greatest chefs of all time, Grant Achatz of Alinea up in Chicago, incredible chef. You know, he started in his family's little greasy spoon diner just like that, and his uncle used to yell at him for putting orange twist garnishes on the eggs. You know, I'm like, oh, that's a waste. You know, and now he's got Alinea, which is the most incredible restaurant ever. You know, but I mean, it's not being so fucking caught up in what you're doing or you know every one of those little greasy spoon places was so protective. Oh, ain't nobody ever making my chicken fried steak batter or my this or that or my
Right.
chili or my chili's award winning. You got only 3 people know parts of it. Nobody knows all of it. Fucking bullshit, man. I mean, it's if a customer walks in tonight and says, man, how do you make your collard greens? I'll tell them. I'll tell them exactly how I make my collard greens. You know why? They're going to make them, and it's not going to be exactly like my collard greens.
That's right.
They're going to have good collard greens, but it's not going to be my collard greens. You know, I mean, it's just like cooking a steak or whatever. It's the world of the internet and cookbooks and you know apps like Gronda and Masterclass and like all the you know chef steps.
Pornhub.
Pornhub and I mean in Alex's case Grinder. I mean
I was waiting for it.
it's but I mean you know all that information is out there to the point and cooking to the point of now nothing a new idea. I mean, very rarely. I came up with something new on our brunch menu. It's called a duck waffle, and it's fucking stupid. But and I'd never heard of that. But it's confit duck fat gravy with a couple of eggs on a homemade waffle with some chives and some Alden salt. And it's
I had that. I had that about 20 years ago at this little American bistro called Applebee's. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Applebee's always beating me to the punch.
Hey, is
No,
your window down? Lance,
What's
is your window down?
Oh yeah.
You roll that bitch up, man. We hear to win. Turn your air conditioner on. Roll your window up. It's hard to hear you, and you're giving out good information.
There's like a couple professions that I almost wanted to like try to do or even think about when I was getting out of the military, right? Because they have a very similar structure, right? And I always thought of like,
right, you haven't drank
shut
enough
up
to be starting.
Shut up.
Shit.
Anyway, so like working like an ER, that whole structure between nurses, orderlies, your doctors, even they have a structure. That's one of them. But then like working in a kitchen is very militaristic on how it's ran. And usually the good ones are ran like that. So it's almost like it seems like an easy fit for you to be running a kitchen like that.
Well, I mean, Auguste Escoffier, old French cook back in the early 1800s, legendary guy. He
What was
wrote
it?
the
Brigade, right?
book on the kitchen brigade.
Yes.
Book on a lot of the core French recipes and techniques. I mean, yeah, that brigade system came from the military. Yeah, I mean, it's 100% the way that works. That chain of command is still in place, and it's very important, because you start running around and you start trying to put your finger in everything and take care of everything. You're not delegating.
Sounded like me in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Also sounded like a very me as a young Coast Guardsman with my chief when I first got in. Always running around sticking his fingers in everything.
Hey, Lance, you obviously for
quit saying
years,
"Hey, Lance." He knows you're fucking talking to him. Stop.
No, because
you
I
haven't
might be
fucking
talking
drank
to you.
enough.
Look, both of y'all lived on boats for a while, so I have to distinguish between the two of you motherfuckers. I bet Lance is a short fuck too. That's Lance, did they have to give you the extra small life vest? Otherwise, if they gave you the regular one, like it looked like a skirt that was missing the back end, like a hospital gown, like Alex.
No, I'm everyday average normal guy. I'm 5'5",
okay, cool,
220, and like I'm just a normal 50-year-old.
Nice. Hey, well, this was my question. So, hey, Lance.
Hey, Lance.
You, Alex.
Hey.
Hey,
when somebody's got the name like Lance, you have to say it a lot. Lance is a really awesome name. It rolls off my southern twang tongue real good.
Yeah, Lance does roll off your tongue really well.
I know. Next time my wife's in town, I'm going to try the Lance position. But anyway, so the question that I have is, you traveled with a lot of the traveling with the kayak turnips, and I'm assuming you would leave where you had some time to practice because they're expensive and stuff like that. Did you? It's a two-part question. One, did you have a core group of folks that you would stay with, and if you did you have a night where they wanted you to cook, or you wanted to cook for them, or when you were out, you're like, look, bitches, I'm on vacation. We're eating Chinese buffet, Golden Corral, and fucking McDonald's.
Man, I would say I had kind of the core group that I would hang out with when it was time to hang out. Hanging out at the bar with Lambert and that whole crew, and Christine and G and everybody, and Steve-O and them, and but I'm a very much keep to myself angler. That's I made this really cool travel rig a few years back. It's like this. It's an ultralight toy hauler, 19 foot, so it's small. But I rigged it so that I got a ultralight like Malone trailer that could roll up the ramp and lock in there, and then I could slide the boat all the way forward. And so I had my own house. I had my own kitchen. I had my own bathroom. Nice. Like I said, I'm to go back to that chef's term, I'm very, very much about mise en place.
Oh yeah,
everything
has its place, bitch.
Right. And so traveling around and doing Airbnbs, one was way more expensive. Even when you were splitting, it would wind up being more expensive. But you're always hustling for a shower. You know, you get up, you try and grab a shower. Somebody's power shitting in there. Um,
Christine Fisher.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but I mean, if you know, you just kidding, Christine. Love you. The she's fine. She'll beat you, man.
Good old
Yeah.
Christine Power Shitter Fisher.
Just to let you know, she told the story about she had to go on the water. I can't remember what tournament, and I think it is either Ewing or Jackson was right down lake from her, and she sent a floater, and apparently it bumped up against his kayak before
Oh
it
God,
went down.
So, I mean, can you wash that off? I mean, that's like a pro extreme fisherman racing stripe. That's like,
We did.
That's like the Pope like sprinkling holy water.
Yeah,
on your boat.
it was early, so she was saying that she's pretty sure they didn't know about it, but she knew about it, and I'm willing to bet that that story has only been told on Bass and Brews, and so there's not a lot of people that
So,
know it actually fucking happened.
I had a good one. Best kayak crapping story ever.
Boom, Fisher's
All right.
floaters.
Yes,
Do this.
Fisher's. Yes. Oh, this is a new segment that we forgot to do since Christine, but it's Fisher's floaters.
So this is, I think, it was the last time Bassmaster was at Caddo Bistino, and I always stay out at Caddo. That's just home, whatever. Staying with my buddy Kevin Nemo, and we always go to, and this is a bar that I've introduced a lot of the regulars on the fishing trails to. It's called the Lighthouse out in Uncertain, Texas, and it's this little dive owned by this old like tour boat captain. Greasy food, but it's killer, you know, like catfish and whatever. So we show up every night, you know, after practice, whatever, we're all drinking. And me and Nemo were like getting ready to order food. And
Nemo and I.
Nemo and I. No, if it's Nemo, it's me and Nemo.
I agree.
But it's fuck the king. Fuck his English. Yeah. So we're looking at appetizers, and we're like, do you have like a basket, like a bunch of mixed ones? And she's like, no, but I could make you one. We're like, fuck yeah, do that. And so this gal, she was amazing. She brought back this basket of like, fucking hell, dude. It was like cheese logs, like dunked in Nashville hot sauce and pickles and jalapeno, all sorts of shit, right? So we crushed that, crushed some burgers or something. And then the next morning, I'm like, I kind of made an audible. I'm like, I'm going to go fish Bistineau. You know, I just feel like Caddo's kind of hammered. So I cruised to Bistineau, and I was getting ready to leave our house, and I was like, man, it's kind of that tournament day, like, am I good or am I not? You know, I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm shit, but I'm like, man, it's an hour and a half drive. I need to get on the fucking road. You know, I got a double cup of coffee in the truck for the drive. And I'm blasting an hour and a half all the way down to the dam at Bistineau. And so Bistineau's drawn down to where it's just a creek channel, right? In the main areas. You cannot get off that or you're in goo mud, you're stuck. And so I'm going up and down. I'm doing all right. I got a limit. You know, I'm kind of, it's looking like it's going to be a good day. And then about halfway through the day, I'm just like, you start rocking in your seat a little bit. You start going, you know, you're kind of like, oh man, this is bad, you know, and
something ain't right.
And I was on my way back down that main boat channel. And so there's fucking people everywhere, right? And I'm just like, man, I think I got it. Nah, this is happening, you know? And so I wait till people pass. And of course, the last one to pass is my buddy Bubba. And he's in a freaking, what do you call it? Blue Sky with a broken trolling motor because he just broke his shit running up into the goo.
If anybody's in a Blue Sky, somebody named Bubba.
He's like slowly pedaling by me like this, right? Speed that bitch up, you know? And he's talking, you know, and Bubba likes to talk, and I'm just like, oh, fucking Bubba, dude, like, I need you to go, man. And so he finally takes off and heads down, and I just run right over, and I've got a Jackson Nar with a NK300 on it, right? And I aimed it for where that creek channel ended by some trees, and I shot that boat right into the mud into where the bow was just buried in there, spiked the power poles down, and I grabbed that big Jackson flex drive, you know, stuck my ass over the gunnel, and I swear, shot 6 feet off the side of the boat. I mean, like, there's a couple of fucking birds and shit that were like, wow, you know, I mean, like, it was impressive. I think it skipped, you know, like, but I mean, that was a bad one. That was fun. Pooping in kayaks is fun.
It's always an experience. I mean, I have the closest I ever came to shit myself was the TOC I won last year, and it was rough because I was like, I'm going to poop at the ramp because this ramp usually has 2 porta potties, weren't there, and so I was like, so I eat 3 or 4 Tums, which usually settles it down, and I drink some water. Anyway, I get out there and the fish. I was hunting for schoolies, and they weren't there yet. A buddy of mine in a bass boat saw me, came over. I was like, "Hey, Steve, do you have any toilet paper, man? Because I don't know if I'm gonna make it much longer." He goes, "Yeah, yeah." He threw me just a fucking gallon Ziploc bag full of toilet paper, and the side of the lake, where I was, is a very skinny part of the lake. But the side I was on didn't have a good place to go. But right across the lake was this old little roadbed with a good rocky point that you could get in and out real easy. I go over there, and when I hit the fucking ground, I didn't know I was going to make it. And I got about 15 feet in the woods, and there was a pine tree about the size of this White Claw Surge can. And I wrapped my arm around it because I was a wildland firefighter. Everybody drink. And so I've shat in the woods a good bit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this one wasn't one where I just was going to squat down and poo like regular, because I knew that if I did that, I was going to be pantsless. I was not going to have no underwear, no pants. I don't wear shoes, but I knew I was going to have to go wash off in the lake, and I was going to be pantsless the rest of the day. So I wrapped my hand around that little pine tree the size of a White Claw Surge can, and I leaned forward and put that tree up against my right jaw. And when I shot, I don't know if anybody's ever seen an osprey shit, but when they shit,
exactly like that.
yes, when an osprey shits, it looks like a Super Soaker 50,000, except theirs is white. Well, mine was green. And I plastered the tree behind me and everything. I mean, good thing I knew what was coming, because if I would have squatted, I would have had shit up my back. I probably would have butt ass naked fishing that day. It was terrible, but I felt good, and I went out, and my fish were there. About 30 minutes later, I caught them, and I won the tournament. So
That's the same thing. I went and leveled up after that too. I was like,
there you go.
Feeling fresh, feeling happy, like feeling a little light.
Hey,
You
Alex,
two are fucking feral. as
Alex,
shit.
Alex, I would ask you if you had any tournament shit fishing stories,
I don't.
but you don't.
Nope. I did the bum shit at that Fort Worth tournament where I pulled that 7th place check. It was day 2, and launching on that river, dude. We're in literally downtown Fort Worth, and I was launching underneath an underpass, and like figure eight, like fucking. I had a Hobie at the time, and I was roping a fucking PA-14 down this embankment in the dark, like, you know, there's like crackheads walking around. And I get the boat down there to the water, go down, get the rope unhooked, and I come up and fucking, I'm like, oh God, yep, got to do that. And it was the same thing. It was me and God, who was it? Dwayne Taff and Jamie Broad, and you know, a bunch of them, and we were out eating crawfish all night the night before.
Oh.
And man, I went. There was a dumpster underneath that underpass, and I went and hung off, like, you know, the little fucking hook compartments on the side. Like I had a hand in that thing, and like just dropped him and just let her rip tater chip, man. Like all piled up, and it was like soft served by the dumpster. And whoever got I feel bad for like whatever fucking street cleaner has to come clean this. It's probably somebody walked up and just kicked it underneath the dumpster and called it.
Look,
Boat
we've
shit.
had Alex wasn't here for this, but we had Greg Blanchard on. Shit, it's been fucking probably 2.5, 3 years ago. It's been a long time. But one of Greg Blanchard's poop stories was one of the funniest ever. Is he shat at the ramp, and he couldn't make it far, so he just kind of shat off to the side. He's like, nobody should be over here. And I can't remember who it was, but one of his buddies stepped in it. And he got in his truck with Greg Blanchard's shit, and he had, obviously, most everybody has the cloth uh things in the bottom. What the fuck are they called?
I don't know. Fucking
The
use your
things in the
words.
bottom of their truck, the mud mats, had
Oh, yeah.
cloth mud mats, and he's in there like, what the fuck is that smell? And by the time he's moved his truck, he's done rubbed all of Greg's shit
Oh,
in the
Oh.
fucking mat of his truck.
Like,
wow.
like all I can think of is like Beavis and Butthead back in the day when they looked down on the side, like that dog must be sick.
Hey, Lance. Hey,
Oh,
Lance. Let me
Hey,
ask you this. Being an executive chef where, people are paying to come eat your food, and
Yeah.
if you're not on top of your game, it only takes that first time customer to write a terrible review that then 10 other people see, and then 10 other people, is the service industry thing of one person making a bad comment. So you
Right.
got to be on top of your game. Do you think all the shit that you do with cooking, does that help with fishing at all, or is there any correlation between the two, or is it just, it is what it is?
No, I think it just kind of. I mean, I think it kind of helps you in your mindset of not taking things so personally. It's losses or somebody out fishing you or somebody beating you to a spot or whatever. Just kind of it really helps you ignore the little letdowns. Being a chef, because I mean, let's face it, it's like we are the most judged people on the planet, man. Like
Behind
there's
strippers.
asshole with a dose of anonymity and a smartphone, no matter how fucking good you did or how hard you tried, or especially in a place like mine where it's not like standards. It's like a representation of me, my story, my background, my upbringing. It's very personal food, and I want people to feel like they're at my house. So when people shit on that, like if you take that, and that was one of the things that led me up to those AFib days, like the early days of the restaurant. My wife would say that I would wake up just like blindly at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just grab my phone and start
Mm.
flipping through like fucking Yelp or Google or emails or whatever, looking for anything. Like I was obsessed with it, and I would take it really personally. A lot of the times I'd push back or I'd talk shit to them or whatever, I mean, some of my chef heroes coming up, like Bourdain, his famous interview where he goes, what do you think about Yelp? He goes, fuck Yelp. And I feel the exact same way. It's fuck Yelp. It's like white people like snitching so much that they invented Yelp. So it's like, it's just, I mean, that's what it is.
Fuck them crackers.
They love to snitch. They didn't get elected to their fucking HOA. So they fucking made Yelp, So I mean, it's just little fucking small people that don't have the balls to have a conversation to you while you're there, And they don't, and it's not going to change who they are if you go respond to them or if you. So it's just like I don't fucking care. It's like if you don't get it, if I'm going to make my food the way people be like, oh, the music was too loud. Well, fucking go somewhere else. Like I don't fucking care. Like it's too crowded. Well, it's a fucking old Subway sandwich shop, ma'am. Like what do you want me to do? Blow out the fucking wall? I ain't got no fucking money. Like I'm a fucking cook. I'm not a restaurant tycoon.
He's like, I don't know
do
when
you-
I'm going to have to convert this
do
back
you-
to a Subway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bitch, do you know how expensive it is per square foot for a restaurant?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would make 1,000,000 times more money, and this is where I was almost going last year when we were coming up on our 5-year anniversary, and I was like, fuck this, man, it's 5 years. I did Culture ETX before it was Heritage East, and I said, it's 5 years. I've poured my heart on a plate. We've gotten some great press, some great wins. Showed up in magazines, awards, shit like that. We did great. And I was like, I'm going to turn this bitch into a fucking like grilled cheese sandwich shop and fucking flatbread
fuck
pizza.
yeah.
And
Fuck
and I'm going to leave the Plaid Rabbit, the speakeasy open. And I'm like, we're just going to fucking retire.
Shit ton of money, too.
But I'm going to put 2 motherfuckers on a flat top back there smashing fucking burgers. Like, because what I do, it's fucking expensive to buy the absolute best ingredients. Working with all the farmers, working with all the ranchers. It's exhausting. It's expensive. It's, it's stressful. You know, it's and I got to charge out the ass to be able to afford it. So it's a very upscale restaurant, but it's it's just fucking. It,
Yeah.
when I got to that point where I was going to change it, that's when Michelin announced that they were coming to Texas, and I went, "Oh
Yeah.
man, like fuck, I can't do that," you know.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like I kind of wanted to just dumb it down and just make it just bullshit, ordinary food because it's more profitable, it's less stressful, it's cheaper to staff, cheaper to buy. But then when they said Michelin was coming to Texas, I was like, I'd be a fucking idiot if I didn't go for it, you know. So, we're like I said, we're judged more than anybody else. So if Michelin's going to be here, we're going to push and try and be judged by the absolute best judges out there, because those are kind of the only judges and critics that I give a shit about. Um, Michelin, James Beard, um, Open Table. I will say, like, Open Table reviews mean something to me. Like, Open Table's a reservation
Huh.
system.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's vetted. You know, in order for somebody to leave a review on there, they
Oh, I
have
didn't know that.
eaten there, you know, like
Yeah.
so it's vetted. It's not like, because I piss a lot of fucking people off on social media, whatever. So like my Google and Yelp and like whatever. I mean, I motherfuck people. I make fun of people, like whatever, you know. It's just I'm a very opinionated fucking person. I'm a very intelligent person. That pisses a lot of fucking people off, you
I don't
know.
believe it.
Um,
He was in
But-
the Navy and the Army. Absolutely
I
fucking nuts.
totally fake it. It's bullshit. I
Yeah,
read the
dude.
fucking
There's no
books.
way. There's
But
no
it-
way you left the Army to go to the Navy and then you're a smart person.
That's
Absolutely
no,
fucking not.
no. That's
I want
that's what
to
they
be a-
taught him. Is like you're a smart person. It's the handy
You're
smiley
not-
thing. You're
you're not a-
smart. You're lovable. People love you. You're a great
doggone it,
human.
people like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no,
And-
dude, like I look
and-
on Open Table and I've got like 4950 all the time. Like
Hell yeah.
it goes between 49 and 50. So
Hey Lance. I have a question for you.
Oh
hey,
my God. Hey, Lance.
Alex and I show up at your restaurant unannounced.
yeah,
And now that you know us, we show up unannounced.
Yeah.
We walk in. We're like, where the fuck is the chef? I have got to talk to the
Yeah.
chef right now.
I don't
Come
see
up-
fucking squirrel on here at all.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Alex and I come up. You walk out. You're probably like, what the fuck? You know, well, maybe you walk
No.
out because you're cooking right.
So,
But anyway,
like one, my crew is fucking dialed. Like if somebody walked in like that, they'd be like, oh, let me see if he's available, and they
oh,
would
no,
like,
no.
me
No.
out the back door. They'd be like, there's some fucking weirdos here asking for you. I'm like, what are they, fucking credit card salesmen? Fuck out of here.
They want to send me a swipe machine. Oh, no. It's the Comcast guy. He's been.
Energy broker guy, like fucking whatever. Fuck out
But
of here. Like,
regardless, we're not going to leave. We're going to be like, I need to see the fucking chef now.
Yeah.
You walk out like, God damn it. You walk out, you see us, and then we all hug. We fucking shotgun a beer.
Oh.
And in the middle of the restaurant, you got people seated at the table. We're your special guest. And we sit down and fucking Oscar comes up to take our order, or Aurora, or whoever it is, comes to take our order, and we
Oscar-
go, you know what?
Oscar's cooking.
Okay. Well, you didn't tell us what they did besides your
Yeah, he did.
sommelier.
Yeah, he did.
Ones in the kitchen would give it away.
But
Yep.
you know what? You're in a small restaurant. People have multiple jobs.
Fucking
Don't-
finish
This is
it,
my
Paul.
podcast, Lance. Don't-
Bring it up. Bring it
Oh
up.
my God, my battery died on my air conditioner. It's 91 degrees outside. Anyway, let me finish my fucking question,
Wrap it
so we can
up,
get the
bitch.
fucking answer. You're worse than Alex interrupting me.
Excuse me, bitch?
Real.
But look, Alex and I walk in. We're like, we want to see the chef right now. We hug, blah blah blah. You're like, oh, and he's like, what do you want to eat? Feed us. We're eating whatever the chef feeds us. What is the main
All right.
dish
He
you're gonna
gets it.
feed Alex and I? We're not ordering. You're feeding us.
So we're gonna go. I would probably go at least 4 or 5 courses. Like I'd style you guys out. So first course, I've got these crab cake and tasso ham hush puppies that are killer. Then we'd probably do like deer camp crackers with those. Those
Fuck
rillettes
yeah.
out. and then like a salad course. Like I did this one for Steve-O and Dano. Was the Steve-O actually ate vegetables. It was fucking crazy, and he like cleaned. It's a grilled.
Probably shit for a week.
Probably the grilled endive. It's got a bunch of different seeds like pepitas and sesame seeds and olive oil, some citrus like blood orange and grapefruit, and then it's topped with like 3 or 4 slices of this pancetta that I made from this local hog a guy got me like freaking almost years ago.
I made pancetta.
Pancetta?
Yeah,
like,
I made it.
Yeah, like bacon, but cured. Like never cooked. So
Yes.
I aged this shit for over like right now it's at 50, 55 months.
Months? For me to get
great.
mine to 35%,
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I
Paul.
rolled mine like an
Nobody
idiot.
cares about yours.
It took for fucking ever rolled. But I will say,
No, see, he knows he's talking about percentage because I mean that's like the way of measuring it is you do it by
Right.
water.
Wait, grams.
Weight
So
reduction.
now I cook. I make. We haven't bought bacon in over a year. I make all of our own bacon. I get a slab. I cure it. I smoke it. So I wanted to make pancetta because I like to make like bolognese and stuff like that. So I will say this: the pancetta. Maybe I didn't do it right. I don't know. We'll
Probably.
talk about this afterwards. But it was mine. I was very disappointed for the amount of goddamn time I had to spend into it because it tasted. It was like too salty of a bacon, but it didn't have the bacon, the flavor. I didn't put anything. I didn't put sugar or anything else. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
We have a chef
Continue.
on. We have a chef on, and
Yeah,
Paul's talking about cooking.
We're still
Like-
we're still going down the menu. So this is like salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
So,
finish
I
your
got the
menu for
salad.
Alex.
Dude, I put this pancetta on there and then just lightly kiss it with a blowtorch.
Don't
So
kiss my food.
it just turns. So it's like I just fire your meat just perfectly.
Oh, sounds like my wife.
Veggies over your shits. Okay, so then we're gonna go into food.
Okay.
You have to have my pork chop. I always have a variation of my pork chop that's similar but slight changes from set to set. Texas Bucket List, Emmy Award-winning TV show, gave me best bite in the state of Texas for my pork chop a few years back. So always have that on there. Got to have that on the table. Other entrees right now, dude. There's a lot of really good ones.
Alex walks in with a.
Oh my god! Is this going to take another hour? For
Alex
you to fucking
walks
explain
in
it?
with a plastic bag of 2 fresh squirrels.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you gonna make that for us? Are you
Yeah.
gonna cook the squirrel for us? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Did heads and everything?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course.
I'm not eating the brains though. I ain't trying
yeah.
to get no goddamn squirrel fucking brain
No.
illness.
That was like my granny would crack them with her teeth. Like take those.
Yeah,
little
I'm not eating
Yeah.
the brains. I'll eat.
I
the
just
I'll
love-
eat the cheeks, but I ain't eating the brains.
Paul talking about his cooking has still got me fucking blown up. We have a chef on here. Paul's talking about his cooking. That's like
that's how it should
that.
be.
No.
I mean,
That's like your wife talking to a porn star about how good she gives hand jobs. It's not the fucking like you're not in the same caliber. Paul.
Alex, who
One.
cooked every
What?
every fucking piece of meal
That's
you ate?
great, but that's not. This guy's a fucking chef. You cook. You're not a chef. You're just a fat guy that eats a lot.
If he goes and watches my videos, I will guarantee you that he'll go, he's doing something right. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but he's going to look at my cooking videos after this podcast.
No,
and he's
he's
going to
not.
text our group text, and he's
No,
going to
he's
go,
not. No,
Paul,
he's not.
Paul kind
He's
of
got a-
knows,
I will.
knows something.
No, he's got a real business to run. He runs a restaurant. You crush trash.
Bitch, I make my own bacon.
So what? All right.
my God.
We have to do the Mary Fuck Kill
All
before
right.
we get to
All right. So we got 2 quick games for you.
Hey,
First
Lance,
one. Oh my God! Shut up! I'm
Listen,
about ready
Alex.
to fucking. He's too much. All right. Here's how this is work. We're gonna play the high school game of Marry, Fuck, Kill. I'm gonna give you 3 options, and you got to choose one to marry, one to fornicate, and one to kill. And if you need visual stimulus, like most of us dudes do, I have that covered. So your options are Bigfoot, the Loch Ness, or aliens. And just to kind of help you, feed things, in the head that you can see what's going on, we have Bigfoot. And then we've got Loch Ness.
Oh.
And we have aliens. So what's your MFK on that?
Go with the Mars Attacks aliens. So we're killing that immediately.
You're killing that one.
Man, this is I'm torn. I'm gonna say I will fuck the Loch Ness monster and I'm gonna marry Bigfoot.
Of course.
Oh, wow.
Of course the Navy guy wants to fuck a fish.
No, but I mean if I was that, I'd be marrying the fucking Loch Ness monster. But the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, you're gonna have a little, campfire time. There, you look at it. It's not quite so swampy. I feel like there's just a little more little ambiance going on.
Listen,
with Bigfoot.
Paul, I figured it out. I figured it out, Paul. The older the guest is, the more they pick Bigfoot because they remember giant bush, right? And it just draws them in. The younger the guest, they go for that.
They want that clean.
They want that clean waxed Loch Ness.
Hey, Alex, real quick, Justin Copley got us introduced to the Bigfoot movie. I can't fucking remember the name that we played an episode or two ago. He asked me if I watched it. I said, fuck no, not yet. I will.
I have.
Did you? Okay.
Yes.
But look, I've got to send you the picture I've got to send Dave the intern the picture that he sent me with the Bigfoot boobies. And we got to replace the Bigfoot because that'll make more sense.
I have watched the movie, and I will tell you about the movie if you go over to patreon.com/Bass and Brews and sign up for Last Call. I plan on this month's episode to really
we can
deep
play
dive.
Some clips. We probably can play some clips.
Yes, because it's a private stream. So
hey, Lance, for you don't know, I don't.
We're not going to recap. We're not going to recap.
But there's a Bigfoot movie that came out. I don't know what, like 4 years ago.
A year ago.
A year ago.
I was like, please tell me it's the fucking Sam Elliott one.
No, this is the one with
the guy from
the Social Network.
Social Network.
But you never really see them because they're in like the CGI. They don't ever speak. But the trailer, I'll send you a link. The trailer opens with two Bigfoots fucking.
Yes.
The last Bigfoot movie was the one that was like Sam Elliott, where he like killed Hitler and then killed the Bigfoot.
I remember that one. Yeah.
No, this isn't it. This one is like a Bigfoot porno.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
It's like a fucking Star Wars Christmas special.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna get to the most controversial portion of the show, but before we get there, Lance, I want to give you a chance to shout out whatever you'd like. This is,
your sponsors, anybody that you never want to hear this podcast.
I'm not doing much of the tournament trail stuff anymore, but some of the sponsors that, even ones I'm not with anymore, more technically, Jackson Kayaks, I've been fishing out of them for 15 years. Love them. They're amazing people. They've gone through a lot of changes over the last few years, and they're really coming out of it in a positive way. And I'm super proud of Emily and all them. Striker, Missile Baits, John and Byron and all those guys have been really here for
that D-bomb is my go-to flipping bait, baby.
Any plastics by those guys are absolutely fucking incredible. I won't shout out my former rod sponsor since
Cast King.
No, what's their fucks bottom out? The fucking
Dobbins.
Yeah, don't say it. The
Doobies.
Doobies.
But I mean, RIP, because they were my people and I fished them for years, and then they fired all my friends. So,
fuck
you, bitch.
Whatever.
Fuck you, Dobbins.
No, not Dobbins. GS bottom out. So those guys, and then fired everybody. So, Newport, Dakota Lithium, Stormy, all those guys have always been fantastic.
Best menthols on the market, baby.
Can't say,
Newport.
When he said Newport, I was like, is he shouting out Newport cigarettes?
It's 1989. Fuck yeah, Newports, baby. Smoke them.
They were always all those people were always so good to me over the years. Traeger Grills has been a big supporter of mine over the
What?
years.
Stop,
Yeah, for
Paul.
sure.
Let him finish. Let him finish, Paul. Stop.
I've got 3 or 4 Traeger Grills at the house. Absolutely love them. Freaking Rogue, the fishing tethers, all that stuff. They're absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love those guys. And then cooking side, Heritage East is the new restaurant concept that we flipped after Culture ETX. It's very upscale East Texas cuisine, and a lot of people don't know what East Texas cuisine is. It's very similar to not far from you guys. You're getting that low country in South Carolina. That
It's not
Charleston.
far from me.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
way far from Alex. This
But
bitch don't know nothing about no low country.
so you get the low country, and then a lot of people don't know that Caddo Lake used to be navigable all the way to the Gulf of Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, the big. So there was a log jam in the Red River, and the Big Cypress Bayou was backed up, and so paddle wheelers would go all the way up through the Red, and then get up into the Big Cypress, and then they would go into Caddo, and then up the Big Cypress on the far end up there by Uncertain, and go into Jefferson, Texas. Jefferson, Texas was the largest inland port for. Bye, love you. That was
Love you too.
she was in there eating dinner. That is the wife of our very dear friend and late Pat Malone, who is a very dear friend and a wonderful fisherman.
Yep.
Really tied in
Last
with
year,
all.
right?
Yes, he was one of
Yep.
the early bass guys. Phenomenal human being, and his wife and kids are doing well, and all of us out here
Good.
really
It's
trying
good
to
to
take
hear.
care of them. But
Close
yeah,
to
man,
2 years.
it's so that East Texas cuisine is really tied into the Low Country because of those oceanic routes, and a lot of those involve the African slave trade and the foods that they brought with them. That's what makes the Low Country cuisine so special.
That's right.
Is it's so very West African in nature,
Mm-hmm.
and we had the same thing. Obviously under terrible circumstances, but it's the food that we grew up with. So Heritage East is just kind of paying homage to that, to the roots of
Nice.
the foods that we eat out here. So you can find if you search Heritage East Tyler, Texas, or heritagetyler.com, you can find there, make dinner reservations. The rabbit is our, so yeah, shut up.
Shut up, Oscar.
But yeah,
Well,
I mean
cool, man.
that's
Perfect.
about it, man. That's so I'm not fishing much anymore, other than local trails. I run a trail out here. It's still called ETX Paddle Sports. It's a great little local trail that we get to fish Fork and Caddo and Lake of the Pines and Palestine and Rayburn and Toledo Bend, and those are
That's
all
awesome.
home lakes. So I mean
That's a good local club to be able to
yeah,
fish.
like people look at our schedule and they're like, holy fuck, dude, like, it's killer. Like I mean, and that's why we relocated ourselves out here after being in Dallas and all those places for years, is just because I mean, one, this is familial home, and two, the fishing is insane.
Yep.
So would love all you guys to come out here and visit. There have been a lot of the fishing trail people that have swung by and ate. Derek Brundle and Christine and G and Wesley and Dano and Steve-O, and I mean just a ton of people have been out to the restaurant and have had just a blast. So anytime you guys are
Absolutely.
we're right down the road.
Cool. All right. Well, Paul, it's that time.
It's time.
Boys and girls, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go today. Woo! It only takes one.
All right, Lance, we are hitting the patent pending shotgun round. I'm going to ask you a rapid fire set of questions.
I might ask you one too if Alex doesn't butt me out. But go
We
ahead.
just need you to answer the question. We don't need a full explanation unless we ask for it. But you need to answer the question. None of this political bullshit where you hem and haw and you don't actually answer it. Do you understand?
Yeses, nos, or
Yep.
we give you a multiple choice.
Yeah, we got you.
Cool. I want to make sure you're ready because this is either going to raise you to the highest levels to become a serious angler or to the lowest lows of the dark waters.
You fucked that up. Or it was a run-on sentence.
It was. Anyways, are you going to spend more on a rod or a reel?
Rod.
Perfect. Crocs or flops?
Flops.
All right.
Whoa,
I
kayak
figured
anglers
that.
usually don't choose flops.
Yeah, he's in Texas though. They love their flops
True,
there.
True.
Or Molly.
You're on your way to the water. Is it hype music or is it slow jams?
Hype. Old school
And
hip hop.
Old school hip hop. Okay, what's old school? Are we talking like
Give us some-
2010?
2010.
Bitch, he said it was 50.
I know.
I'm 52.
All right.
So I mean, old school to me is just the good old Gangstar and oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of Gangstar, what's up, dude? I'm on a podcast. Say hi. This is everybody. This is Uncle Jack. This is my best friend. He's
Uncle
got
Jack, what's up,
What's up,
home?
buddy?
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing today?
Good. How are
Man,
you?
we're wonderful.
They were just asking me what's my hype music.
What is it? Something.
Let's go Gangstar. Let's go
Gangstar.
Mob Deep.
Yeah.
DOS Effects.
DOS Effects is cool.
DOS Effects cool.
Nas.
Can't go wrong with Nas.
Can't go
Nelly?
Yeah. Nelly?
You fucking say Nelly.
You got a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
The Band-Aid.
I was getting something from somebody at Rick's.
Okay.
I gotta ride and get some oxtails real quick.
Oh, oxtails.
And I need to get with you.
My bad.
Fresh got oysters for 50.
I'm down.
They got 3 different.
Let's grill oysters.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm on oysters.
Sunday afternoon. So I guess me and Uncle Jack are grilling oysters Sunday afternoon.
I like it. All right.
So yeah, shoot.
You're on the water for 3 hours. Do you want to catch 5 2-pounders or one? Oh shit, you're in Texas. One 9-pounder.
That's right. We can't ask that
One
one.
night.
Perfect. We have to change that one depending on the region.
Look, 5 2-pounders to him ain't even going to get him in the top.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not gonna admit that.
All right, 5 4-pounders or one 9-pounder.
5 4-pounders.
Okay. All right. Let me think here.
I mean, that's because we're spoiled with the big fish too. We'll catch a couple of those.
Everybody's a good. Everybody's a good fisherman in Texas and Florida. It's fucking easy. You guys just have big fish.
Go to Fork will eat your shit.
All right. No, I'll just join the Navy if I want somebody to eat my shit, or go to your restaurant. Boom, boom. No, just joking.
Let me get them to cook up some corn.
All right.
Road
Hey,
tracers.
we don't eat corn. We just bar it until our next
right.
bowel movement.
Yeah.
All right. Food questions. Hey, do you eat largemouth bass?
No.
Okay.
What? Bitch,
If I
you
was-
said you grew up poor. You're a fucking liar. You were
we
not
did-
poor.
He said, "Do you?" Now, have I? Yes.
That's
Okay.
actually supposed to be the question. The
Okay.
question when Alex originated it 4 years ago was,
And then Paul
have you
made me
eaten
change it.
largemouth bass? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I asked it,
Okay.
have you eaten largemouth bass?
So yes, I have, and I have actually developed dishes at the restaurant based off of how my mama used to cook largemouth
Hell
bass
yeah.
Deep
because-
fried.
so much.
Well,
Was heads on so you could eat the whole fish, or was it fillet?
Fillets.
all right.
I-
Well,
I like both.
all our listeners know we've been running the Bass Egg Special, and I'm happy to announce that we have now partnered with Lance. So you can find Jamie right next to that Mucho burrito. Just say Babcast, and he will sell you a bag of 9-pound fish eggs, bass eggs. Yeah.
Hey Lance, what you got to do? You need to add onto your menu deep fried largemouth bass egg sacks
Yeah.
as an appetizer,
And make
call
sure
them the bab eggs.
I like it.
BAB eggs. Bab
Bab
eggs, and it's
Bab eggs.
large. It's 8+ pounders.
Yeah, no. Make sure you put on there like eggs taken from Share Lunker fish only.
So,
Yes,
I'm actually
yes, share lunker eggs, deep
Dude, I'm
fried
actually-
in homemade batter.
minutes. Well, I'm 30. The town that all my family comes from is Athens, and that's where the freshwater fishery center is.
Yeah.
And the air lunker program, the genetics labs, all that stuff. And I'm friends with all those cats out there, so I'm just gonna go bug old Big Tom.
Here we
And
go.
I tell everybody that Tom let me in after hours, and I scored a big stack
I love it.
of lunker bitch eggs.
Yeah. I might
tag
need,
us when
I
you
might
make that
need
video.
Tom. I might need Tom to help me grow these big ass fucking squirrels that we have a Havanese running around as a shepherd dog. back on the kind of theme of eating.
I'm gonna ask you this one. Hey, Lance, have you ever eaten beaver?
Yes.
How'd you prepare it?
I mean, I just kind of flipped her over on her back.
How the fuck do you tell a boy beaver from a girl beaver?
Oh, that beaver? No, I haven't eaten one of those.
What the fuck are you talking about? Lance? The fuck's
I just
fuck-
flip her on
what
her
are
back.
you talking about?
And
What
Navy
beaver
boys,
are you talking
We're
about?
talking about the aquatic
Oh,
animal.
you mean like the dam building furry creature with the big tail?
Yeah, what were you talking
that
about?
could still be a
Oh.
lady.
I was talking about one of those, E-Club types from back in the. You got a big, got like a purse with a flat iron and a spare set of shoes in it.
Hey,
What? Hey, hold on. What did you guys call? Did you ever serve on a ship?
I did.
Okay, so what did you guys call? So we always called them cutter butts, right? And that was like a young lady who like probably had a really nice figure, but she went under way too long, so her ass would get real wide, but then real
Oh my
flat. Right, so we call them cutter butts, and those were always the E-Club ghouls who would like hang around. It'd be fucking closing time, and she's like, "Hey, you want to work on your EER?" And it's like, "Ah, fuck, you're the only one left. All right, let's go."
Dude, we had a word for it, but I mean, the rules were that it couldn't be. I don't think it's not racist or insensitive. In the Navy, we used to call them Indians.
I don't get it. All right,
Lance, we had rules. We had rules to start this podcast.
Navy
fuck it up.
hose. Navy hose.
Navy hose. I get it now.
Hey, Lance, well, here's what's going to happen. Alex and I are going to surprise show up to your restaurant. Alex is bringing a sack of squirrels.
Yep.
I'm bringing a fucking beaver. And we're,
If he doesn't cook this right, I'm giving him 1 star on Yelp.
yeah, no, Alex, we're gonna have to plan for this.
I promise
we're gonna
you I
have to go. We're gonna have to go to Open Table and like make sure our
Yeah,
profile's
yeah,
right,
yes.
so that we can give him a real review that he cares
I
about.
brought in freshly caught squirrel, and this fucker wouldn't cook it.
I've never cooked a beaver. I will cook a beaver. I have cooked Nutri-Rat.
All right.
I've cooked beaver. I can give you some. The best way to cook beaver is to cook it like you would a Boston butt.
It
Just
happens
like you would pulled
every
barbecue.
episode.
Braise it down. Like, I mean, that
No,
just seems
fuck
like
that, bitch. We cooking North Carolina barbecue. They ain't there braising. We gonna season it. We're gonna put it on the smoker. We're gonna cook it low and slow, and it's gonna pull away. I'll tell, and you'll.
I like it
understand
when
this.
my beaver pulls away.
I know.
Whoa.
No, you don't. No.
got that dog in it.
Oh shit. Hey, what's gonna happen when we show up and we bring squirrel and beaver and you throw it down and they're like, Oscar, I need you to prepare this.
I mean, I guess she's gonna get to cooking. I mean, that's
it.
I pay you to cook.
Yeah,
Good times.
Fucking squirrel.
paychecks.
I think
All
that's
right.
everything, Alex. All the important ones at least.
Yep.
Wacky rig or Texas rig?
Oh my god, dude, come on! But that's both.
That's
I-
not.
No,
Didn't we
no,
cover
that's
that
not
in the
the
beginning?
question.
I
You
take
got to
that
pick
away.
one.
No,
Oh, my
you
fucking
got to
God.
pick one.
All right, wacky rig, but I do mine different. Like I do it more like a Neko rig. Like
Yeah. Where
Yeah,
you
Nico
weight it.
rig.
So
Yeah.
I nail weighted on one side. So
Yeah,
technically
Nico
that's still a Neko rig, wacky hook. So I'll say Texas rig. 'Cause
Okay,
then
there we go.
Oh, okay,
Covered
we're
it.
still-
God, that was politician.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeez.
The most important question. Every great angler loves a great sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
And I have never been so excited about this question out of anybody in my entire life. Do not fucking disappoint me,
So-
Lance.
Just the protein, just the
Correct.
sandwich. Pastrami.
Nailed it.
I'm gonna go like braised pork shoulder, like in a cubano.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And then meatball.
Yo, fuck yes. That is
See,
the first
I
time
love
we've
it.
had meatball.
No, I don't think so. I think we've had a meatball, but I think that's the first time we've had a
Not have had cubano. Yeah, you could
I
not
don't
have
think we've had a
Yeah, that's-
Cubana.
No, we've got a lot of uncultured, degenerate fucks as you
Yes.
listen to us. So, All right,
go
Loved
watch,
it. That was perfect.
tell them to go watch the movie Chef with Jon Favreau. That's a killer one. Come on, the Cubano.
Hey, real quick before we end.
Yeah.
Real quick before we end. Gordon Ramsay. Awesome?
Yeah.
Not awesome.
Dude, awesome. I've never met him. Like, I'm friends with a lot of like the Top Chef people and shit like that. We worked a lot of food events and stuff. You know, like I said, been on Chopped, all that. Oh, Chopped, if you guys want to watch that episode, it's smoking skills, like smoking with no G skills.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, menthols all day, baby.
Newport. Yeah. Shout out to Newport. All right, everybody.
Newport,
we'll see you.
The limp news.
We'll see you on the next one. Have the week you deserve, you fucking filthy degenerates.
Hang up. Don't go anywhere yet, Lance. Hey, Lance, hold on.